than actually taken seriously. So, it's
That's a fair point. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those of you still on the fence that are figuring it out. I am Arcaicskidz. Welcome back to Derailed, courtesy of Arcaicskidz. I have an exceptional guest, my first blue check guest. John Molnar is here, candidate Congress 2020 in the 4th District of Utah. I'm so excited to have you, man. John, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I'm way excited to be here.
All right. Tell everyone who you are, what you're about. You got a bunch of plans coming up.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on. Seems like ever since the election ended, my life got more hectic, and I didn't think that was possible. But yeah, so I'm John Molnar. I ran for Utah's 4th District Representative of the United States House in 2020. I'm an Army intelligence and Iraq veteran. And I like long walks on the beach and sunsets. I don't know. What else do you want me to cover?
Oh, that's adorable.
It's one of the things that drives me nuts about Utah. Being a California boy with Greek blood, I'm too far away from the ocean.
Yeah. So you're going back to Florida.
That's what we're looking at right now is Florida.
And it's not because of porn, no matter what Reed Coverdale says.
Yeah, no, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people thinking that for a while, but no, I have nothing to do with that. So we're going to Florida largely because of, one, the housing market in Utah has just gotten insane. Like, the amount of equity I got in my place in the last 18 months since I bought it is just incredible. And I got to get out of being in a condo after COVID, being locked in this place, plus my wife being pregnant. It's like I'm living in Game of Thrones where winter's been too long. So I got to get out of this condo. Like, I've been cooped up, and, we've been looking at houses for about, I want at least 2 to 5 acres, but even a 1/4 acre, I've been looking all winter long, and even a 1/4 acre, I can't find anything from Nephi to Ogden, which is about a 2 to 3 hour drive between the two.
Right.
I can't even find a 1/4 acre for less than $500,000 right now. So they've priced me and my wife out. I mean, I know people run for politics and you think they're supposed to be rich. I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't drive a Mercedes S-Class or a Tesla or anything. My Camaro.
I drive a Honda.
I have a Camaro, but it's a V6.
Oh, well, he's got the baby Camaro.
It's full bolt-on. Give me some credit.
All right. Fair enough.
So, yeah, we're going to go take it down to Florida. I'm sick of the cold weather out here. I don't do good with the cold. My wife has lupus, and ever since we had our baby a week before Thanksgiving, we found out that lupus actually gets worse a lot of the time.
In cold weather.
And especially in cold weather too.
Yeah.
So like all that combined, like we just can't do it anymore. I can't do it for my mental stability because I'm cooped up and it's cold and I hate it. And then my wife with lupus, her muscle flare-ups and everything have been pretty bad. So I'm pretty sure I'm getting carpal tunnel syndrome in my hands from giving her back rubs every night.
I gotta go somewhere where she leaves me alone. I get it.
Yeah, you guys want me to keep tweeting and everything? I need to save my hand.
Nice. So we're just gonna cover the quick thing. You ran for Congress. Yeah. What was that like, man? How'd that go?
Awful. Absolutely awful. I mean, there's a lot of good points to it, but seriously, I got into politics just because of the fact that I came back from Iraq, and ever since I've just been more and more pissed off every single year at what I see going on in this country. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I've been.
Amen, brother, and a Womexan.
Yes, exactly. But there's a lot of stuff that I've been through myself. I've talked about some of it during the campaign. There's a whole hell of a lot more that I can't even get to. We don't have the time for it. But you know what? I'm just sick of seeing what's going on. And then I run for Congress and 2020 happens. And, I'm already to the point where I'm about ready to either I'm going to run for office or I'm going to leave this damn country. Like, that's how fed up I was. And then I ran and 2020 happened. So it was just a crazy time. It was crazy stressful, crazy hectic. I was brand new to politics, trying to figure out everything by my goddamn self, trying to learn how to do social media properly and everything else in between. It was stressful as all. Yeah. There's a lot of good points to it. There's a lot of good people out there who, I'm seeing stuff now that I wish people would have been saying back when I was running. Because like I'm seeing people like Joe Rogan talking about pay proposals for politicians very similar to what I was talking about for my campaign in 2020. And it's like, man, I wish you would have just like opened my message and we could have talked.
Yeah. Like, I mean, people get real rowdy about Joe Rogan once in a while, but the guy is, he's platformed some pretty interesting ideas.
Yeah.
It would have been great to see you on there. I think that might have done something for you.
And
maybe next time, maybe in Florida.
Maybe, but it's.
Oh, we're not going to let you off the hook, right?
Oh, I know.
You did it once. We're going to be like, nah, come on, John. You're doing it again, man.
Yeah, let me get.
Florida's easier.
Let me get settled in, and then we'll it. But I mean,
we'll give you 1 year.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, like whether Joe Rogan has me on or not, it's not really like the important part. It's just so cool seeing some people out there talking about some of the same stuff that I was talking about for my campaign. Right. I mean, like, I need some time off right now, trying to get the family situated. And it's kind of hard wanting to step away because during my campaign, I was talking a lot about how we got to stop with this whole what we're different about and just fighting over that and start focusing on what we actually do agree on. I don't care if you're
liberty, unity,
Democrat. And then I start hearing about the liberty unity stuff with Reed Coverdale, David Fite, and I'm just sitting there like, yes, thank God. There's other people.
And Robbie and man, they're all in it.
And like, I don't even care who started it. Like, I don't give a shit. Just as I'm so glad it's just happening.
Well, they sucked me right back into the Libertarian Party. I was all pissed. I was out, man. I'll be honest, man. 2020 pissed me off. I was out.
2020 was a tough time. And I will say that as in the Libertarian Party I was not thrilled with how the Libertarian Party handled 2020.
I'm gonna agree with you on that, but we're not gonna go down that train. Yeah. We're gonna just keep having a fun and good conversation. So you ran. Obviously, you lost. You're not a congressman. Otherwise, I would be referring to you. And now I wouldn't. I would still just call you John because I don't give a damn.
It would sound too weird hearing Representative Molnar like.
No, I would do it anyway, just to screw with you. Especially if I knew it screwed with you, then I would definitely do it because it'd be funnier.
That's why I leave all my pet peeves to myself.
All right, so we've got a couple of things going on in this country, and you did at least attempt to represent the 4th District of Utah. Yeah. A couple of them. We're going to touch on. I want to kind of touch on them quickly. If you want to take as much time as you want, that's fine. But we've had a couple of shootings recently. One in Atlanta, one in Boulder, Colorado, which is quite close to both of us.
Right.
I think closer to me than you, but it's close to both of us.
Very close.
And as opposed to it just being just a horrible situation, which is what it is, right? Everyone wants to talk now about gun control.
Of course.
Of course. I mean, it's politically reasonable now.
Yeah, it happens every time.
Yeah, I know it. I know that. And I'm just saying, all right, I don't give a shit. You're not representative, but if you were, what are your thoughts? Go.
No on gun control, period. Like that is not the conversation we need to be having. Quite frankly, I mean, if we're going to start looking at mass shootings and things, a lot of the people who have the tendencies to go do something like that, there's something very disturbed going on with them. And we're in the middle of a mental health crisis. Like COVID was not the real pandemic. The pandemic is going to be, and it's already starting to materialize. A lot of us have been warning about this because we have experience with mental health. Mental health is the new pandemic. It was never going to be COVID. It is going to be mental health. And I mean, whatever happened with the shootings, this is only the beginning. I mean, we saw it last year with all the violence. Domestic violence is on the rise. Teenage suicide is on the rise. We've got a lot of stuff that's going on mental health wise. And it doesn't matter if you get rid of guns. Where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, I put it out on Twitter a couple hours ago, like Oklahoma City bombing, Boston Marathon, anthrax, 9/11. None of those had anything to do with guns. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Right.
There's a lot of things. Actually, I probably shouldn't say that in case ATF is listening. But there's ways to do things.
Just say
it. There's ways to do things if you don't have access to a firearm and you really want to.
I actually, I can tell you for a fact statistically, 4 people are killed by knives to everyone killed by a gun in everyone pay attention, in America. I can also tell you that only 13% of quote unquote mass shootings, which requires 4 victims or more, are done by rifles. Mm-hmm. So every time that they start this nonsense conversation, it's not, they want to outlaw scary guns.
Yeah.
They look scary.
But how long is that people shouldn't have access to weapons of war going to get turned into all guns? Because again, going back to a lot of the history behind guns, the revolver was invented solely as the purpose to win us the Mexican-American War.
You're absolutely correct. And based on that, I want to ask you this. The Second Amendment to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That is how it finalizes.
Right. And
what does that mean to you?
Exactly what it says. Like, I don't know why English is so hard for so many people to not. Like, I speak 3 languages, and it's like most people can't even speak 1 because shall not be infringed means you can't do jack shit. It's absolute right, not a privilege. It does not.
Okay, so let me ask you this: background checks.
Background checks are completely unconstitutional. Like the background,
they're infringement. Am I wrong?
They're an absolute infringement. The only time a background check should even be up for a discussion is when you're coming across the border. After that, fair game. Okay. They're rights, not privileges. The only time you have a chance to even make that kind of argument is at the border. That's it.
Right. Excellent. I completely agree with that. I look forward to you running in Florida once you're settled. I will come down and I will knock on doors for you, and I will donate the maximum amount that I'm allowed. Let's move on. But I do agree with all of those things.
Perfect.
So that's going on. Those mass shootings, we've covered that. Yeah. Here's the other thing. The border. Dude, man, I don't even know where to go with that. But it's a fucking mess. There is 16,000 children today in U.S. government custody on the border. I'm sure there's more in U.S. government custody as far as just American citizens as well. Yeah. But this has all happened in just a few months. They have this many people in custody. That is a problem, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
How does John solve this problem? If John is tomorrow the Lord Supreme Commander.
Lord Supreme Commander, that has a horrible ring to it.
Yes, it does. That's why I do it.
I mean, there's really no easy solution when it comes to the border. We've got a lot of people coming over right now, and it's one of the things I really struggle with the Libertarian Party on. I mean, I belong to the Libertarian Party, but I say that loosely because there's certain things that I don't always quite agree on, and the open borders call is one of them. I am all in favor for open migration, and I hate it when we talk about open immigration because that's only half of the concern. You know, migration involves being able to leave just as much as being able to come in.
Right.
When we focus on immigration, we're only focusing on one half of the problem. There's a lot of stuff with immigration that's an issue too. But one of the things that open borders dismisses is the reality of what comes with living in a border town. I mean, I've spent a lot of my life on these border towns working with other people. I mean, my family, my grandparents are the ones that immigrated here, some of them illegally. We come from that type of background. And one of the problems with open borders is if you have absolutely no checks whatsoever on the border, then those people who are coming here trying to flee whatever atrocities are going on in their home nations, those same problems are going to follow them here. So it doesn't have to be all crazy restrictive the way it is now, but some checks and balances just to be like, hey, are you wanted for murder, rape in your nation? No? Okay, cool. Come on in. That's all we care about.
Right.
Essentially have the border look like TSA.
So you basically want a fugitive check.
Pretty much. Kind of some type of cooperation between nations. I mean, I think it's one of the things the United Nations really should have been and failed to implement. Was the United Nations really should have been a cooperation between all of the member nations in migration, open migration between those nations, the same way that we have it in the United States between each state. And then
so kind of like the European Union was.
Exactly.
Prior to COVID, that's what they were.
Yeah, because like I'm still entitled to citizenship over in Europe, since my grandparents immigrated here from Greece and Hungary.
Okay.
So I could still get citizenship with either of those nations just by the application process. And then at that point, I can move, work, live, go to school wherever I want within the European Union, whether that be Italy, Spain, Portugal, Greece, Hungary, Germany, any of them. I could do that. Right. Some type of cooperative migration would be that's really what I think the UN should have been. And I think the US needs to embrace more of. One of the big issues we have, we're talking about immigration, and we always
wait, I'm going to cut you off for a minute. Does the US not do that because of a taxation problem? Because the US is one of only 2 countries in the world, recognized countries in the world. I'm going to add that caveat. That your taxes follow your citizenship no matter where you are.
Yeah.
So is that something that the U.S. has worked in, that we don't want that nonsense happening?
I don't think it should be. I mean, you got expat taxes up the ass if you try and leave, and you've got stuff coming in. And
you have to renounce your citizenship. That's the only option you have.
Pretty much. But the weird thing is the expat taxes also apply to green card holders if they try and go back to their home nation.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
So, I mean, like, this is what I mean by, like, trying to say, oh, we just need to have open borders. It doesn't quite work that way. There's a whole lot of issues within immigration and everything that goes into this. I mean, citizenship, for example, is a huge problem in trying to get access to. And that's part of why people come here illegally so much more than legally. Because when I was in the military, I was working in the intelligence community. I'd have DOD contractors working with me that had been working for the DOD for 10 years as a contractor, working right alongside with me, and they still can't get citizenship.
Right.
Like we got guys in the military who get out of the military deported.
I've met several people in the Navy, the Marine Corps, in my lifetime that were deported immediately after they finished service, and it's like, what the fuck happened? They didn't do anything wrong. It was just like, oh, well, you're no use to us anymore.
Well, and that's one of the things that I ran on, was that any person who came here and didn't have citizenship, as soon as they finished their first enlistment contract, automatic citizenship.
And I'm 100% a fan of that. I think that should be absolutely built. I think that should be built into the Constitution.
Oh, it absolutely should be.
I don't understand how the U.S. military has recruitment facilities all around the world. And the idea is you do some service, and then we're going to do everything in our power to get you citizenship. But at the end of that, they're like, haha, thanks, click.
Because when you're in, you're a guest, and when you're out, you're a pest.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, okay. You're not wrong on that one.
I mean, that's one of the things I ran on was, that military service should guarantee citizenship. We want to do this whole push.
That's weird. That's like a book.
Well, I mean, like, again, it's one of the things I struggle with on immigration, because it tries to be so bigger than it absolutely has to be. We just need to make. But I mean, again, maybe that's kind of my approach to everything, is I'm kind of a baby steps in the right direction, and we'll get there, because, it's like that tale of the frog in the boiling water. If you just chuck it in, it'll jump right back out, but you turn up the heat and it'll boil to death. People need those baby
That's what
steps.
America's doing, though.
And that's part of the problem, is it's doing the baby steps in the absolute wrong way. We're turning the heat up. We need to turn it back.
But it's working, though. They're not gonna turn the heat down. They're only gonna turn it up. And I don't know. Are you familiar with who Michael Malice is?
Yeah, a little bit.
He was on a podcast, Tim Pool's podcast. And he said something along the lines of, some very bad people got a lot of information from this COVID lockdown about what people are willing to put up with,
Yeah.
I
was out
with Larry. He's not wrong, and it's terrifying.
Well, I was on with Larry Sharp talking about how, one really good thing that COVID showed was all of every single enemy all around the world, that they don't need a nuclear bomb. They don't need anything crazy. All they got to do is walk across the border with some little biological contaminant, and we'll shut down everything for them.
This is for you. There you go.
Hi, Reed. Eat a dick.
Another one, because he apparently figured out we're live. So now he has to spam the chat.
So now we'll take a break until he goes to sleep. And
yeah. Okay. Well, let's move to some funner sides of the conversation. So you're moving to Florida.
Yeah.
You and your wife are going to start a farm. This is my understanding.
I'm going to start the farm. The wife has nothing to do with it.
Okay. So you're going to start a farm. So
yeah.
Are you attempting to take advantage of people's understanding of homegrown food is better and safer and whatever than this shit you buy from Cracker Barrel or wherever? I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily take advantage of that. I'm definitely taking advantage of my culinary background from San Diego and applying that to making more money than I ever could have cooking on a line. But,
okay.
It's one of those things that, a lot of people are catching on to, and they want more unique produce. They want stuff that's more organically grown. They want stuff that's more natural, whatever the case might be. I kind of got turned on to it, actually, oddly enough, for the first time in Iraq when I was 19, because when I was out there, I was eating with the locals. That was part of my job, was to actually...
I'm going to kill him.
Burgess Owens was not way more libertarian.
I'm going to block him pretty soon.
All right. Damn it, Reed.
He does this every time I'm live, and he has time. He just spams my chat.
See, when you have a wife, you don't have time for that stuff. So Reed or boyfriend, whatever.
Reed needs a wife or boyfriend. I hear David Fight likes boys. You said he had 1,400 husbands. Be 1401.
Hey, it's just a numbers game, man. Just play
It's a numbers game.
Love you too, Reed. All right, but yeah, but Iraq was really the first time because I was eating with the locals. And where I was at, you had two different types of meat, essentially. You had the stuff that was getting grown in the countryside or raised in the countryside, right, and eating a little bit better. And then you had the stuff in the city that was eating out of the piles of trash on the side of the road and drinking the sewer water that flows through the streets.
Yes.
You can taste the difference in the meat.
Yeah.
And
shocking.
Yeah, surprise. So that was my first real experience on, where does my food come from, and getting into food and cooking and everything. And it's just kind of come to this weird roundabout way of, I went to culinary school and decided cooking sucked because you get paid jack shit when you're doing celebrity wedding catering out in Santa Monica. And it's just horrible. $11 an hour living in San Diego. Ugh, blow my brains out against the wall real quick.
The only reason that you can afford to live in San Diego, well, you don't live in San Diego, but the only way that you can afford it to make $11 an hour is because you're a Marine or sailor and you're at Camp Pendleton or Miramar. Like, that's it.
See, I had an analysis of people in San Diego. Was everybody thought they were Hollywood because they were so close to LA. But everybody's 2 bad paychecks away from being homeless.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You see it all the time. Everybody's just sitting there slaving away just to pay rent. Mm-hmm. And that's what had me end up leaving, because you're slaving away like crazy. And then all of the good stuff that was free was getting taken away. Like, they took away bonfires on the beach in Carlsbad, which is like what I spent almost every summer night doing. I was getting the cops called on me because I was shooting fireworks over the ocean, and they're going, hey, you can't be doing that. And I'm like, why? What am I going to set on fire? The water? Like, it's just ridiculous.
In all honesty, you never know who's pouring what in there. Maybe.
That's true. I mean, we do get some stuff coming up from TJ every once in a while, but that's different.
I did a video, or I did an interview with David Fight, and he said something about having a DMZ zone between Mexico and America or whatever. And I told him, you ever been to Tijuana? That is the DMZ.
Yeah. Pretty much. Same with Chula Vista, although Chula Academy, anybody's out there listening from Chula, I love Tacos El Gordo. I go out there all the time when I'm
and I'm 100% on board. We're not talking shit. I'm just saying.
No, I love Chula. I love San Diego.
Your cities suck, and you need to clean them up. That's what I'm saying.
It's just sad to me because, honestly, there's no place like San Diego for me. It's home.
San Diego is amazing.
It was, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because it's to the point where I could not be there anymore. And it kills me every single day because there's no place I would rather be, but there's no way I can go back. California's got to go through a complete collapse so that it wants to rebuild for me to be able to come back and help with that rebuild. And until it sees that collapse, I can't come home. I'm hoping, maybe 10, 20
It seems
years.
to me like it's already going through it, bro.
It's already starting, but that's the thing, is how quick is it going to happen? A lot of the times these types of things take.
Well, I mean, it's not going to happen fast when fucking Joe Biden passes him out $65 billion in COVID money.
Well, and you got Gavin Newsom sitting there talking about how he needs to be saved for his seat because the Republicans are trying to kick him out while he's scouting for funds outside of his own state to fight his constituents' wishes. So,
I mean, but he's only getting recalled because everyone trying to recall him is racist. This has been made clear.
Yeah. See, again, stuff that just, I got to the point where I had to leave California. I couldn't do it no more. Like, there was just no way in hell. And that's why Florida, because you know what? Hawaii is too expensive, and Florida seems like
well,
California.
Hawaii's also way more locked down than I mean, Hawaii got locked down relentless. Look, you're locked down when Tulsi Gabbard's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
You know
they
what
got
I mean?
locked down pretty hard. But at the end of the day, you're
no offense to Reed, who spam in chat, and no offense to David, and they both worked for her. This woman she's a progressive Democrat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think she's got some good ideas that we could suck her into the Libertarian Party and teach her all her shitty ideas are shitty. But until then, she's pretty well progressive, and let's go with that. And she's even screaming that her state is shit right now.
I didn't even really like Tulsi Gabbard at all until she popped off about Kamala Harris in the presidential debate. I was in California when she was my attorney general. Tulsi sucked on lockdowns. Yeah, well, she sucks.
Agreed, Reed.
I gained a shit ton of respect for her when she blasted Kamala Harris's record as my attorney general, and being one of the people who helped facilitate me having to leave California was Kamala Harris, and Tulsi Gabbard threw that all on live TV.
Oh my God, that was one of the best things I've ever seen in a debate ever.
Best takedown period.
She single-handedly just crippled her presidential campaign.
Yeah. Oh, easily.
I mean, she's still going to be president one day.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, she already is. Come on, Joe Biden wasn't.
Yeah, no, okay, that's fair.
The pick for vice president was always about who's the real president, because there's
the pick for vice president was we need a brown person.
That probably too. I think they could have maybe seen maybe we could take a woman, or maybe Pete Buttigieg, since he's Pete Buttigieg. But really, Joe Biden was the person that the Democrats knew they could get in there because everybody would remember him from the Obama days.
It's a low bar.
And then just once Joe Biden's in, he's not going to be any good anyways. We'll just whoever's vice president, who's the real president, was really what it came to, and that's why they took so damn long to figure out who's going to be vice president.
Oh, for sure. I don't. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that it doesn't matter. Let's talk about something fun. So, okay, you're going to Florida. You were talking about setting up a little farm. Let's talk about that. You wanna are you trying to build like a local little honey farm? What are you doing, man? What's your plan?
I'm trying to do kind of like a market garden, doing a mix of varieties of different really rare and exotic types of produce that I know about, but not a lot of other people do. And some of those I'll end up trying to process into my own products further. I've got a few of my buddies that, I went to culinary school with, worked in kitchens with, that have now become executive chefs that, I'm going to try and hook them up with some of the products so they can get in their restaurant. Some of this stuff is really hard to get. There are different types of animals that are really rare and really expensive. And if you don't know what they are, then you just don't know. And I happen to actually know. So I want to try and bring some of those foods to more people because they're rare, mostly because they're hard to grow. People don't know about them and they're really expensive. because nobody really does it. Everybody's doing apples, corn, wheat, things like that. So I want to try and bring more diversity to people's palates and in their diet so that they can find out, hey, there's other food out there. I mean, my wife and I eat a shit ton of meat, but we got some friends that are vegan. Okay. Their diet out here in Utah is crazy restricted, aside from what they can get in the grocery store for like the Beyond Meat type stuff and everything like that. Like we just don't have that type of produce out here. Nobody really grows it. Whereas like even just what I'm growing here in Utah is stuff that nobody grows yet can grow because people just don't know that they can grow it. So, you got a lot of people trying to be more health conscious about their decision making. I mean, one of the biggest things with COVID that was a cause for mortalities was obesity.
Right.
Get people off obesity. Let's get them off fast food. Let's get them healthier. And one of the best ways we can do that is by providing more options for people. You get people who don't like fruit or vegetables because they think Brussels sprouts and broccoli are the only things that exist for that type of stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was super irritated when the COVID thing started because I was like, they're saying like, hey, you gotta lock down, you gotta fucking worry about whatever if you have comorbidities, all this kind of bullshit, right? And I'm like, why are we not talking about the fact that being healthy, like eat better, vitamin D? Where is this conversation? Where is this conversation?
It wasn't
like how do you shut down a gym when this is the problem? Yeah. When unhealthy people are the most susceptible to a particular circumstance, why are you shutting down the gym?
Well, I will say gyms can get pretty nasty. I know I don't look like it right now, but normally I'm a pretty big gym rat. And
this is a question for you. That's
John,
important.
I run for office since you left us in the dust. Austin can run my campaign.
I don't think that's a great idea if I run your campaign, but it will be hilarious. I have no problem making you look like an asshole.
If you're, I'll say this about campaigning. If you're down to have every single person hate you every single second of the day, and then maybe like once every 6 months, somebody tells you, hey, I actually liked what you said, and you can tolerate that, then yeah, go ahead and run. Because otherwise it's going to be a nightmare. Don't expect people to like you.
Nice.
Yeah, go for it. I'd say do it. The thing is I'm going to talk about, the campaign was hard because it was. I don't want to lie to people and just tell them, oh, yeah, it's easy. You go say you're going to be a candidate and then the media just wants to talk to you. It's not like that, especially if you're running on the libertarian side. Even if you try and go Republican or Democrat, if you're anything outside of the normal duopoly thinking, they're just going to do everything they can to shut you down before the primaries so that they don't even have to worry about you come election night. They'll just take care of you in the primaries.
Right.
So go ahead and run. Know it's hard, because I want you to know that it's hard. But the thing is, this stuff that we're dealing with is not going to stop until just regular people have the balls to get up there and say, fuck it, I'm just going to do it anyways. And that's one of the things that I wanted people to see with my campaign more than anything. Like, I didn't really care about winning as much as I just wanted other people to see, hey, that fucking idiot could do it. I can too.
Nice. Okay. We're gonna switch gears for a minute. Let's see. Where do I want to go? See, this is why it's called Derailed. I have no idea where I'm going most of the time.
Should we talk about Elon Musk doesn't think aliens are real? Like, should we go with that one?
I mean, that kind of makes me want to stab him in his neck, honestly. But
what is your thoughts on aliens then? Let's jump down this hole.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, now the guest dictates the conversation. I like it. Hey, we have someone popping in here.
Who's popping?
We have someone popping in. What's up, Reed?
Oh, god damn it.
What's going on?
There goes the show.
Reed, we're about to talk about aliens.
Hashtag
Alien.
On board?
The Galactic Federation, or what aliens we talking?
We're gonna talk about whether we believe aliens are a real thing.
Oh.
Now, because I was asked a question, we're gonna answer the question. And I believe in magic. Yes, I think that there's absolutely. I think aliens have. I think mathematically it has to be at least probable. That's my outlook. Mathematically, it's probable, but I mean, Reed apparently is sitting in some kind of a spaceship, so maybe it's better for him to talk about what the chances of aliens are, because apparently he already got picked up.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Predator to step out behind him. Just
yeah, and just,
I do have self-protection with me, so I'll be good. But
okay. I was expecting a condom with the hashtag in your name. But.
Great, he just got me taken off YouTube because he had to show off his little firearm.
Deplatformed.
Well, John might agree with me on this. I think there's a bigger chance of aliens than God. So, what do you think about that, John?
Whoa, bro! This is my channel. Don't come on here balling on God. That's messed up.
No,
the chance of aliens is the exact same chance as God, honestly.
I would disagree on that one.
How do you figure? Explain yourselves.
So I think aliens, you have to look at it in a couple steps. Okay. When we're talking aliens, do we mean single-celled life organisms? That I think is.
No, I mean intelligent life forms.
Intelligent forms, as in but that's the other step. Are we talking intelligent like we are now, more advanced, slightly less advanced? That's where the probability starts to get.
Oh, you think humans are intelligent? That's adorable.
Well, a little intelligent. Well, no. Okay, let me say it this way: individuals can be intelligent. People are stupid.
Yes, very true.
But that's the thing. That's the thing that I struggle with aliens is whenever we're talking about aliens, the probability starts to go down further and further on likelihood as you move up the intelligence scale. If we're talking single-celled organisms, highly probable. I would absolutely say the chances of it not existing are probably so high that, likely they all exist. So
it's so low that it's improbable.
Yeah. But are they intelligent enough to be traveling through the stars and reach us? And then it's another step on have they already, and if they would or why they would. So I kind of look at it in steps. And I mean, even visiting us, I would say is more likely than God existing personally.
Really?
Because you have.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No. I like it. I'm good with it. I am going to let you two talk for just a minute so I can go use the restroom.
All right.
You two talk God. I'll be right back.
I find that the parallel to God and aliens is sort of similar in that if your idea of God is extremely vague and you don't have any specifics about what that means, but you think that there's something out there, then I'm not going to really disagree with you because I don't know. I mean, it's such a vague statement. So same with aliens. If you're going to say like, I think life is out there in the universe, that's pretty vague. You start getting specific about what these aliens look like, what type of spaceships they fly around in, what type of language they speak, how intelligent they are. It starts becoming like God if you describe like who God is, what happens to you after you die and why he has all these rules. It's sort of similar. So like the more vague your God is and the more vague your aliens are, the more likely they exist actually statistically.
Yeah. So. Right. And I think I might have actually talked about this with you when I came on with your show and we were talking about atheism, where like for me, God, and as far as like some absolute all-powerful being who has absolute interest in my daily life, no, I don't buy that for one fucking second. But if you talk higher power, that could be damn near anything, something that has control over my life, but I have no influence over it. The sun is technically a higher power to that extent. So it just kind of depends on how you define it, really.
Yeah. I mean, that goes into the vagueness too. I mean, it really is like how specific you are and how, how specific you are is really what it comes down to in entirety. Because, like Mormonism is less statistically likely to be true than Christianity, just because it has more details.
Right.
So if there's...
That's the one that's been driving me nuts, because I'm sorry, but 2020 comes through. The Mormon church, like Utah is the biggest Mormon state, period. Like we all know this. This is no secret.
Actually,
we've all lived
back there. I'm going to push back there. I lived in Utah most of my life, and there are actually more Mormons in California than there are in Utah.
Okay.
Not per capita, though.
No, not per capita, but actually per Mormon.
Derailed my whole thing. Now I know why the show's called Derailed.
That's what I do, man. That's the job.
No, but the point I was getting to is, the Mormons always talk about how their religion's true. And if you believe your religion's true and that faith without works is dead, why the fuck is God shutting down his house for a flu? Like, I mean, the temples were all shut down, the churches were all shut down, yet supposedly the faith and the priesthood is living within the Mormon church, and yet it had absolutely no bearing on being able to keep everything open. Like,
I can make that argument with every single religion. Like, I'm gonna say this. Exactly. I'm gonna say this because now it's my turn to push back a little on your anti-God rhetoric, both of you. Is that, first of all, if I was chieftain of any of these churches, I would not allow that bullshit to happen. I would have actively engaged in fuck that. We're going to have services no matter what.
You should.
I don't have. I'm non-denominational in that regard. As Reed put it, I'm non-denominational when it comes to the Libertarian Party.
Same.
As he put it the other day, I put that to my religion. But I would rather be wrong that God is real. I'd rather believe and be wrong than you not believe and be wrong. Just saying. That's kind of how I look at it.
Can you prefer to believe something though? Like in my mind, if you actually believe something, you have no control over that belief. So
I don't have control over it though. I do believe it. I just don't think that I need a church to tell me how to react to that belief.
Right. I'm just saying it's not a compelling argument to someone who doesn't believe. Like, well, if you just believe, then
I'm not trying to compel anyone to do dick. I'm just saying, like, that's that's my personal belief, my personal standpoint.
Right. I'm just saying, though, to someone who doesn't believe, because I've heard that a lot from believers, like, well, look at it this way. If you believe, you're safe. And it's like, no, you don't get it. Like, I don't believe. Like, believing is not.
No. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I'm saying that's my outlook.
No, I know you're not saying this, but a lot of Christians, I mean, John could probably back me up on this. They say, like, you've got nothing to lose. Just believe, and then you'll be fine. And it's like, well, no. That's the problem is belief isn't a choice. Like, I can't choose to believe in something.
No, I don't understand why someone would make that argument.
The thing that doesn't make sense to me about the whole belief stuff is, if God is all powerful and all knowing and he created men, then he gave us the one gift that we have over everything else, and that is reason. And and reason and logic are completely counterintuitive to belief. So if there is no way to reason that there is a God that exists, I don't see God as being mad at me if I get to heaven and be like, hey, look, I didn't know. Like, there's nothing to indicate it to me. There's no observational anything that I could make to come to that conclusion. But you're here now. I got it. Okay, cool. Like, I don't see God as being mad at me and be like, you're gonna go burn in hell for all eternity because you didn't believe in me when you were on it.
No.
If God exists and he gave me reason, then he'll be perfectly fine with understanding that my reason did not allow for anything on belief wise because there was no observation to be made.
That's fair enough. John, I have a question for you. Have you ever noticed that when Reed always does videos that he spends more time on his phone than he does paying attention to the people he's talking to?
A little bit.
Yeah. He's basically like a Twitter prostitute. Have you noticed that?
A little bit. You want my birthday, Mark?
You should get his blue check mark. You know, I felt real special. I got to interview a blue check mark, and then you're over there. I've noticed this in his videos. I've tried to catch up on some of his videos before I interview people, and he's always like playing on his phone while they're talking. Like he doesn't care. He's over there playing Snake.
Yeah, probably. Right. Reed's just done stuff with me enough times to know that my blue check mark don't mean shit.
I don't know what that thing is or how one gets it, but
I have no idea. I was trying.
You ran for Congress. That's how you got it. I know that. Like Twitter has this thing that if you get the nomination from any major political party, you automatically get a blue check mark.
That's what I've heard, but I mean, I applied with Instagram like twice. They would not approve me to be verified. And then Twitter,
well, that's just because they knew you weren't going to win.
Yeah. It's also Mark Zuckerberg on, so.
Yeah, that's true. Robot Boy hates you. Let's talk about something fun. Obviously, God's not fun. Let's don't talk about that anymore.
Man, I could talk religion for hours.
All right. There is a fun gun bill going through Congress right now. Let's go into the Senate. HR 187. Let's talk about HR 187. It is going to absolutely price the poors right out of their gun ownership.
You know what's weird, though, is why are we even discussing guns? It's not like you can buy ammo.
That's a fair point.
I mean, it just seems like it's coming in stages. You know, COVID came, they shut down all the manufacturing sites. I haven't been able to find a box of 9mm almost all year. This is ridiculous.
I have some. Do you need me to send you some?
Yeah, if you would, that'd be great. I'm looking at bows.
I'll send you at least a box.
Okay, that'll work. That'll save me from having to get my sword sharpened.
But if this bill passes, then I can't send it to you. I have to send it through NFT store, and you're gonna have to go get a background check, and that's gonna cost you $50 for me to send you a $20 box of ammo. I'm just saying.
Because it's like everything else in this country, it's pay to play. You have to have a certain amount of money in order to participate in.
Right. Here's my question to both of you. How likely is this thing pass?
We got Joe Manchin, so we'll see what he does.
We're staking it on a Democrat from West Virginia?
Hey, he stopped the minimum wage near Tandon and the filibuster.
He did.
So I think he's my hero. I like that guy more than Rand Paul right now.
Yeah, your hero is Joe Manchin. That's so
right now,
sad.
dude. It's all subjective. It depends on the day. These politicians never know. But Joe Manchin's the man lately. He's done more for liberty than the Libertarian Party ever has.
Jesus Christ, that's funny and a little bit true, but it's kind of funny. What do you think, John? Where you at on this one?
I don't know. Honestly, with everything going on, I'm just in straight survival mode at this point.
Just winging it, just whatever.
Everything that's going on is so fucking crazy that at this point, I'm just trying to take care of me and my family, and I don't care what that looks like. It's going to happen.
Well, that's the right way to do shit, no matter what. I don't care what anyone says. That's absolutely the right way to do things. Always take care of you and yours.
Nothing else you can do.
I think that's the libertarian way, really.
Yeah, should be.
Okay. Shit. One final question. I guess it's the most important question. We have to get to it. Everyone has to know. Where does John stand on porn?
I can't wait. I can't wait for me to run again, and this to be the big thing.
Don't worry, me and Reed will be there to ask you.
He left the state of Utah because of porn. He's some little pervert. We can't let him in office. He's not even Christian. I already heard that one throughout the last campaign. Not Christian. No, look, I mean, whatever. Consenting adults, do whatever the fuck you want. But I swear to God, if this turns into
that's nothing to do with porn. The porn is on the internet now. You got to talk. You got to tell us.
Why do you need the government to come in and set up the parental controls? Why the hell are you giving your 13-year-old a cell phone? What is wrong with you as parents that we have to have this conversation? What's next? You going to come into my house and take my stripper pole?
You have a stripper pole in your house?
Of course. What's wrong with you? I mean, I'm married. I'm not.
Married, not dead.
Don't have sex. Holy shit.
Well, most of us don't install stripper poles, but I like your style. I'm going to give it to you on that.
I've had my wild days.
He said he's in survival mode, so you know.
Well, he's going to go grow sugar cane. Maybe he can trade it off for a new pole.
Yeah, I'm just getting ready in case I have to start an OnlyFans with the economy collapsing at this point.
Nice.
You got your first
what do you mean if? What do you mean if? What's this
when?
If? Like,
when it collapses. Ugh.
Oh, man. John, this has been... Oh, this has been really fun. I know you have to get to bed because you have, like, job or whatever.
Unfortunately.
These Democrats don't understand how things get paid for.
It's great.
So,
there's this thing called a job, and if you're a normal person, you're probably spending it outside.
probably.
Not a desk dealing with just pushing papers. You go outside and you work and you deal with the freezing cold.
That's why he's brown. Look, Reed's showing us his truck.
See, it's like Reed gets to be inside.
He's like, look, I have a job too.
Most people don't believe me.
Well,
that's awesome. John, man, I really appreciate all your time. Absolutely. We'll definitely have to do this again. If you don't run for Congress in Florida, Reed and I are going to come feed you to an alligator. That's basically something we figured out. So
you guys do know that I never.
Reed also just found out we're going to feed you to an alligator, but I'm just saying.
Give me, I didn't want to be a politician, you guys. I wasn't looking to be a career politician. I was just pissed off. Leave me alone.
Good, but now we're going to turn you into one.
God. I keep hearing that, and it just makes me cringe.
Well, that's the right way you're supposed to respond when we do that. You're supposed to cringe, but I don't want to. But it doesn't matter. You've been chosen. So you're welcome.
Thanks. Well, apparently, I got to restart my political YouTube channel to make Reed happy. So.
Well, that's true. You need to do that, and tell people where they can find you, what you're about. And get your grift, man. Do you got something like some kind of shit you can get people to give you money? Do that.
No.
What? Why not? What's wrong with you? This is America.
I don't want your money.
You don't want my money? Fine, I'll keep my money.
Give me your money when I get my market garden up and running and I'm selling some of the stuff that I'm putting together out there. Then, yeah, when I start making my own line of rum and wine, then yeah, absolutely buy my shit. But I
like rum. I don't like wine.
I love rum. It's my favorite. But no, I don't have any type of grift or anything where I'm trying to get money. I'm doing me. I didn't like it with the campaign. It felt dirty asking people for money. I'm not a fan of it. I don't know if we're even.
Oh, that's un-American.
Yeah, I know. I'm apparently probably a communist for that one.
Yeah, you're basically a communist.
But I mean, if people want to help me out, I'm on Twitter and Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, all under Gear 6A.
Snapchat, that's where you go to cheat on your wife. What are you doing on Snapchat? Get off Snapchat.
I got on Snapchat because I don't even know why I got on Snapchat, but I follow 3 people on it. I think I have 4 followers, and it's my wife, her little brother, and her other little brother. That's it. Those are the only people I have on Snapchat.
Nice. That's awesome. Reed, you're here. You've got some stuff going on. Why don't you tell everyone what you got going on?
You can find me at banporn on Twitter. No. Let's see. Well, you can follow me on YouTube, The Naturalist Capitalist, and same on Facebook and on Twitter, I'm at Reed Coverdale. I've got
if you
Ricky.
follow him on Facebook, I will literally ban you from my channels, all of them. Because Facebook is horrible. It's an awful place.
Dude, I deleted Facebook right after the campaign ended.
I know.
All right. Sorry, Reed. Carry on. He has Facebook because he's an normie.
What a loser.
What a loser.
Ricky Harrington Thursday. I think Ryan Dawson's coming back on Saturday morning, maybe. And then Drew Hancock on Tuesday, Kerry Wedler on Thursday next week, and I'll be going on problem at some point here, so I'm not really sure.
Part of you're not getting on part of the problem. You're not that important. Come on, bro. No, you probably are, because it'll probably be like what Reed did to me. Reed let me on his show, John. I should inform you about this. He let me on his show.
He was in the live stream. Remember?
It was a live stream. He only gave me like half an hour, and then he didn't even put it on his channel. He was just like, "Yeah, it was fun." He's so rude. That's how he is, man. That's how I've already sent off an email to Dave Smith. Well, I haven't, but I'm gonna do it in 4 minutes. That, like, yeah, let him on your show, and then don't let him on your show. Like, don't put it up, because that's how Reed treats his guests. So do that same thing. No, Reed, do you have some merch? Do you got something you're trying to sling?
No, all I'll say is John was
How
in
do
that.
you not have some merch, man? You should have a Naturalist Capitalist t-shirt. Just like I told David, you got to have a Fight Mike t-shirt because he's got that junior golden EIB microphone. You got the Naturalist Capitalist, man.
Nope, I don't have any merch, but I'm getting ready to.
It just means that he sucks at marketing.
I'm getting ready to launch my campaign against banning porn. That's my number one. It's actually my only platform. I don't care about
that's a very important platform, and I support you 100% on that. We will definitely work on that together. John, we will make whatever law it is that Reed is trying to push that to be the John law against porn. I think that's important that everyone understands.
We're going to promise everyone a stripper pole in their living room.
If you're not going big, you're not going home. That's basically how it works. So, gentlemen, this has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys doing it. I'm fucked up. No, I appreciate it, guys. I hope everyone enjoyed it. And if you didn't, I don't give a shit anyway.